earlier we saw that sampling distributions often have a nice bell-shaped distribution, so it can be useful to know how to use the normal distribution to calculate probabilities. We can also sometimes use theory to describe individual cases, but only if the distribution is approximately normal. So we're going to start off here with just a rough rule of thumb called the empirical rule. So the empirical rule says that if you have a normal distribution, that about 68% of your observations are going to fall within one standard deviation of the mean. So if you start at the mean and you go out one standard deviation on each side, then you're going to capture 68% of your data between those two values. If you go out 2 standard deviations, then you're going to capture about 95% of your observations. So 95% of the data would be between here and here. And if you go out 3 standard deviations, you're going to capture virtually all of your observations. So about 99.7% of the observations will fall between here and here. This also gives us another definition of outliers, because values farther from 3 standard deviations from the mean can be considered outliers. So in the next exercise, you're going to look at an example using IQ scores. So IQ scores are scaled where the mean is equal to 100 and the standard deviation is equal to 15. So to answer the questions, I think it would be helpful to have a graph that's labeled. So I'm going to put the mean here at 100, and then plus 1 standard deviation is 115, 130, 145, and then on the other side 85, 70, 55. So you're going to use this distribution, use the graph, and answer these questions where you're applying the empirical rule. The feedback on the Google quiz will include the correct answers.